so right in Great Little Shop, actually.
Sweet.
Young Nice.
Hello.
I've seen you countless of times live. Always fantastic. The last time was at the Mercury Nationwide Hospital Club.
Oh yeah. The televised thing.
Yes, fantastic. Well, you've never done a bad gig for one. And anyway, I know you were nominated once. Are you hoping to be nominated again this year, obviously?
Don't mind. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It's nice to be wanted.
It's nice to feel like somebody thinks you're good, but it's all right if we're not. The first time around, it was kind of a weird thing. We were surprised, and we kind of didn't take it that seriously in a way, because you know, every year everybody's always like, well, this person should have been up for it, and it's true. There's like a million people who should have been up for it, and it's kind of just down to the opinion of what a small group of people, isn't it, really? So,
but do you feel that this album's stronger?
What, than the first one?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it's better songwriting. I think the first one might have had more youthful energy to it.
Yeah.
Maybe. People like that, don't they? But
song-wise, I think this album sort of seems to hang together more for me. I don't know, perhaps it's just because I still like listening to it, and the first album I found it's quite a difficult listen.
Because you've been playing the first few songs for, I mean, you've been around for a long time. I feel it's about time that you should be recognised on a higher level. Absolutely, I'm not just saying this.
No.
You should be recognised on a much higher level than you have been.
yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, me too. I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, how does the music industry work? How do some bands get big? I don't really know how you do it. I guess you just have to write something that appeals to everybody, and maybe we haven't done that yet. So, but that's all right. I mean, in a way, you know, I listen to some songs that are those sort of songs, and I think, well, maybe that, you know, most of them I don't really like it. I'm not that much into that sort of commercial, more commercial kind of indie rock stuff. Doesn't do it for me.
No.
I'd like to be that famous, but I don't know if I want to write.
The songs are pretty cutting edge. You know, where does that come from?
What do you mean cutting edge?
Cutting sharp, almost in the way they're recorded. Damn it! But I love that.
Yeah.
Anglical, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're in cutting edge in that respect, and cutting edge. Anyway.
No, yeah, I suppose it's just the sort. Sometimes I think, you know, we have a certain way of playing that we sort of like do as default almost.
Yeah.
Which can be a
aggressive, angular guitar.
Which can be a negative and can be a positive depending on the song, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you want to have like a soft bit on the album with some lovely singing.
We've tried to do soft bits. There's a few soft bits on this album actually. I quite enjoy.
I played it, I mean, to death last night, and I have to admit, it's fantastic. But recently, seeing you live, it seemed like there was a more popular sound, say, on the keyboards and that, you know. But it doesn't sound like that on the album. It sounds like that live.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's done on purpose or on the album. I couldn't hear it. I don't know. It sounded quite heavy.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's weird. It's still new. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how. I think how many times I must have only listened to the album 2 or 3 times since we've done it. It hasn't sunk in. It's like the first one now, when I actually get around to listening to it, it's sort of sunk in that I can actually hear what that album actually sounds like to someone else. Do you know what I mean?
Distance.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that was quite good, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Oh, that was quite good. We did that. That was all right.
It was well alright. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's just, you know, when we were writing this one, we were just kind of talking about songs and songwriting, and we wanted to write 10 sort of immediate songs and not do anything too. Because we always try and throw a curveball in and do something weird with songs. And we were like, let's not do that, because everybody always criticises us for it anyway. Like producers always say, you know, why do you do this weird stuff that's got nothing to do with what's the good bit of the song? So we're like, okay, this time we'll do that, and make like that kind of more immediate album, because I like that.
Well, what was your favourite track on the album, both?
Mine's
No changes, but I'll let you go first. I'll choose something different.
I think mine's the second one, Woman, the sort of like 80s kind of New York disco sort of sounding one.
Yeah.
Just because it was kind of when we first wrote it, it sounded a little bit, to us, I think we thought it sounded like Velvet Underground or something like that, you know, because we were always going to have these women vocals on. It's that, and the colour girls go do 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 do.
Yeah.
We thought it had that sort of vibe about it, and then
turned out quite as.
but it was a lot
dark
more.
as that, hasn't
Yeah, it was a lot. When we demoed it, it was a lot darker than that. And then when we went and recorded it, sort of, Nick was like, "Well, we can make this sound." You know, because we've been talking about various things that we like, we're Talking Heads and Grace Jones and stuff. He was like, we can make this sound like that and we just get it a bit more slick, like those sort of things are, but with like a really kind of good vocal take, a bit more of a kind of character from vocal tracks. We went with that. So it's quite slick, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's weird, it took me by surprise when I listened to it back and I was like, wow, this is kind of like slick.
Yeah, and having it so early on in the album,
Yeah.
there was talk of sort of putting it towards the back of the album, hiding it. And like, no, let's put it right at the beginning of the album, like
But how
as
does
a
that work
statement.
as well? You know,
The track
who
listing.
chooses it? Yeah.
It's everyone really. The label want to get involved, and
Everybody wants to get involved.
we want to get involved, obviously. Yes,
I love that
labels
you stick
and
that
management.
straight bang on the front of the album. You put it out as a single.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
not hide that one a little bit instead of putting it straight the first track?
Because we wanted to do something a bit different and bring out a new album, and hopefully people go, well, it's different, it's different.
Yeah.
And so rather than like, if you stick a slightly different track further back in the album, it does feel like you're just kind of hiding it a bit. I don't want it. It's not, we don't mean it as much as the other songs or something. It's like, well, you just need to stick it towards that girl. Looks really strange. Sorry, it's looking at some strange.
She's got very long socks on.
Yeah, weird. But sticking it towards the front of the album makes it like a kind of statement of intent. Yeah.
Vision in Rags is one of my faves, and I don't know. There's a bit on the chorus which has got it's like a steel drum thing, and when we put it on, it's like that is a bit super cheery and a bit too much. Let's leave it on. Yeah, it's going to be quite a summery song, and that, if that comes out, that might be a single. To be decided. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Oliver, I've got to ask. Two brothers out the front all the time. What does it feel like being back there? Do you feel like you want to just jump out? I mean, you're so good at the front then. It's fantastic, you make us all laugh, and it's great music, and it sounds brilliant. But don't you feel like you want to jump out and say something?
No, it's quite nice watching things unfold. I don't know. I quite like being hidden at the back. There's been gigs where we've put the drums on a riser, or we've had to put the drums at the front. I find us all in a line. It's just so strange. I can't quite get my head around it. I quite like just seeing the back of their heads, knowing exactly where they are. So that doesn't bother me.
Oh, what about yourself? Turn around and sort of like, he's still there.
Yeah.
He stopped drumming. He's gone.
I don't know. Playing live, is that one of the sort of more important sides, as opposed to recording, writing songs? Do you love playing live?
Yeah, I like playing live. I like writing and I like playing live. I have to say I'm not a big fan of recording. Well, I like recording, but it's not my favourite bit. Whereas I think Henry is more into the recording.
It takes such a long time to record, you forget really how long it takes.
I find it so frustrating. I like it when it's done and it's good.
Yeah.
I like it when there's those bits where you kind of come up with a new bit in the studio and it's kind of like brilliant.
Yeah,
That's really good.
little happy accidents.
But the standing around trying to get a snare sound.
Yeah. The seventh snare drum, that on the first or second day.
And my interest in snare sounds is pretty minimal.
I don't like snare sounds either.
Play me like 1,000 snare sounds, and I'll just say, the first one. I don't.
As a three-piece, you'd almost think from an outsider's perspective that it might be easier setting up everything. Maybe it's harder because they're the three sounds you hear very clearly.
Yeah.
Because you get that, I don't know, if it was a 4-piece, 5-piece, you can hide almost behind each other. As a 3, you can't.
You've got to be a bit more creative with a bit more inventive with what you do, because you only got so many. I suppose you've got 3 vocals as well.
Yeah, which is always good. And but have you ever thought of getting an extra person in the band? That's never been.
We have. I always think if we got someone else, like just a rhythm guitarist or somebody that could play keys, you know, you definitely have that space where Henry could sing and stop playing guitar, or I could just simply stop playing the bass.
And you could just play keyboard.
In a break, or.
But I know it's just
stand there and do nothing.
Singing wise, you're singing almost 50% of everything. Recently, I don't think that used to be the case a few years ago. But I think, are you singing more these days than you used to sing?
I think I used to sing lead more. I used to sing lead vocals on a few more tracks than the last albums. This one I only sing lead vocals on one, but I do vocals on everything pretty much. And a lot of songs have almost got like a harmony line going all the way through, so I kind of sing most of the way through. But it's quite good just being the harmony because nobody's listening to you as much. And if you muff the words, because your vocal's a bit quieter than the other, nobody notices that I got the words wrong. Whereas when he gets the words wrong, like he did the other night, and goes, it's really obvious.
What's the sort of, I don't know, tonight you're looking forward to tonight's gig, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, what's the best recent gig you played? What's the difference between a good crowd and a bad crowd?
It's just an atmosphere thing, really. You can have a really good crowd that actually don't like leap around particularly. You can have a good crowd who you can just tell that they're like into it. They're standing there and they're just like watching, and everyone's you know, quiet at the right times and claps at the right times. And
we had that gig in Paris the other night, and they were very quiet. And they were there for the head, not the band on after us, and they were very quiet, but they just listened, and that was it.
Who was the band after?
It was somebody else on our label. What are they called?
Mel and Kim.
No, Mel and...
What were they called? Something and Kim.
Matt and Kim.
Matt and Kim.
And they're an American duo. Kind of like Ting Tings, but to a backing track. And they, you know, they're quite fun party songs, but I didn't like them. But everyone else went crazy. But for us, they listened and they appreciated it.
I think for a good few years, you've supported so many people. I've seen you countless times, maybe 20, 25 times.
Yeah.
But you know, and a good few of your headline shows. A lot of times it's there, and especially at festival gigs, obviously, you're everybody, and you always get a massive crowd at a festival gig. What's that then?
Pardon?
Why do you think you get a big crowd at a festival? You notice it. You can see the people coming and leaving.
I don't know, I suppose people...
Crowd.
It's funny, it doesn't really translate into album sales, does it? But I suppose people think, you know, Young Love's show will be a decent show, like it'll be a bit of fun. Which is good. At least we've got that.
Fun festival
always
band.
got that.
Exactly. We enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, because we enjoy it. So, and we don't want to stand there and like posture in front of everybody and like look like I fucking hate everybody and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's like fair. Hopefully, it's a kind of nice atmosphere to stand at a Young Love's gig,
It always is. But where, you know, alright, who do you look for inspiration?
Musically?
Well, music thing on stage, any perspective really. Presence thing, I don't know, dress wise, it could be anyone.
Loads of stuff. It's difficult, isn't it? Because I know we always get compared to kind of post-punk bands and stuff like that, but you know, like this last album we were listening to, there was a lot of talk about Grace Jones whilst we were writing it and listening to all those backing tracks and stuff, because they're amazing. They're so weird in their kind of how they're composed, kind of like Bowie backing tracks are. You listen to the backing track for Heroes, it's just the weirdest thing. It's like somebody's sang a song to like some simple chords, and then put on a whole load of droney noises in the right key, and then taken out all the chords, so somebody's singing perfectly in tune, just over this like nonsensical drone. But when you listen to it, you don't hear that. You just hear it sounds like this great pop song. You don't hear that the actual backing track is like the backing track is the weirdest.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, like you say, the Bowie stuff. You just remember the Bowie vocal.
Yeah.
And you don't really hear past it.
If let's say for someone that's never heard Young Knives, you had to choose 3 songs from your whole repertoire, what would you suggest to listen to? Music
something weird like In the Pink, first album. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably a really bad example.
Yeah, that's a good one. So what's that represent?
That represents the sort of
The Carrie Scurio, the dark
darkness.
nights.
Yes, exactly. The
Yeah.
yin and yang.
The yin and yang. Off the second one.
Are we going to pick one off each album?
Yeah, with 3 songs. Go for
Why
second
not? Why
one.
not?
What about the hidden track?
Long Cool Drinks by
Long
the Pool.
Cool Drinks by the Pool, which is like an out and out, it's just a bit kind of wacky, but
I like it.
weird one.
That should have gone on the album properly.
And then this one,
Yeah, I mean, it should have done.
it should have done. It should. It's one of my favourites.
It's always nice to have a sequel.
And then off this one, something like Vision in Rags, where it's just a proper pop tune.
I like it.
Just an uplifting pop.
Yeah. So you got the wacky, you got the dark, and you got the pop.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We should have picked one that's a bit like guitar-y as well.
Big 4.
And mind you, In the Pink's got that awesome guitar part in it.
Yeah,
It's got a really good guitar part in it.
And thanks a lot for your time. Anything you'd like to say to Music News watchers?
Could everybody buy our album, please? Please. Please.
Anyway, thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Man. Cheers.
And have a great gig tonight.
Thanks very much, man. Yeah,
I'm going to love it. Thanks.
Cheers,
Are
man.
you coming down?
Yeah, definitely.
You can be back.